Oh my God, I'm nervous. I'm nervous, mostly because let me put my ugly notes away. I've never used this microphone before. So there's a great chance that for this episode, this installment, we might just be using my camera's microphone because I'm a mess. Oh my God, is that distracting having this like shadow behind? Okay, we're moving past that. Hello. Welcome. Hello and welcome to the Oddcast. I already messed up. It's the AudPod. How do I mess up the name of my own podcast? The AudPod, not the Oddcast. That sounds so stupid. Arguably more stupid than AudPod, okay? It's the AudPod. Welcome to the AudPod. Sorry about that. The podcast where we talk about everything odd. Hello, I am Audrey, your host. So this is new, obviously. For those of you who know, who don't know, it's new on my channel. This is not something I've done before. It's definitely a new adventure that I am embarking on. Because I like to talk. I talk too much, arguably, maybe. So I figured if one of my many talents is talking way too much, and I happen to live in the time period where podcasts exist, I feel as if it is only necessary and appropriate for me to do a podcast. But that is also up for debate because I don't know how to upload things to any other platform, any audio platforms. Obviously, I know how to upload to YouTube. Whether or not that's a good thing, also up for debate. But this may be, I may be calling this a podcast, but it may in fact just be a YouTube video. We'll see where this endeavor takes us because we are in this together, whether you like it or not. Thank you for your participation. Okay, so what are we doing here? What are we doing? I thought no better topic to start off this podcast than talking about this year. We're coming to the end of this year. It's the very end of December when I'm recording this. So let's review. Year review. Okay? You feel me on that? I've had a tumultuous year, to say the least. I would like to say that 2021 was the deluxe version of my flop era. I feel as if I had already been in my flop era going into 2021, and then I just got the deluxe edition. So nobody asked for that. Absolutely nobody asked for that, but it was given, and it was experienced. And now I am here to share those experiences with you, all of you guys, because although in the moment it was traumatic, to say the least, absolutely, there's a lot to unpack there now from the experiences I will be talking about. But looking back at it, I can see the humor and the comedy in the situation. And isn't that just life's biggest lesson, is to look back at all the things that took a piece of your soul and laugh at them? I feel like that's something that we should all be working towards. And oh boy, did this previous year force me to learn that. It was no longer optional. So let's get into it. Mostly, I would say I am mostly referring to the last half of 2021. Mostly because the first half of 2021, I can't remember it. Okay, not literally. Like, I'm sure if I put my noggin to it, I would be able to remember it. But wow, I don't have the mental energy to do something like that. So I'm just going to be referring to the last half of 2021. I guess that's how my memory works. Last 6 months. As soon as a month moves out of that previous 6 months time period, it's gone. I no longer hold it in here. It has escaped me. So that's good, I guess. Anyways, I have my little notes. I have my little paper here that I've written down some very detailed notes. They're really gonna be a great outline for this. But I would say, yes, a majority of the events kick off in August. So a little bit less than half of 2021. Now you may be thinking, Audrey, less than half of a year? That doesn't sound too bad. What could have possibly happened in such a short time frame that could be so horrible? Well, let me tell you. If Pretty Little Liars can fit all of the shit that they fit into only 6 weeks, then imagine what could happen in the time from August to December. Miss Marlene King is the writer for my life, and I think halfway through 2021, she started collaborating with the writers of Riverdale. And I think that is where my personal plot really lost its way, if I'm going to be honest here. So let's get right into it. Also, for those of you who are here, who are regular viewers of my channel or who have seen content from me before, this will also explain where I've been and why I have been absent and why I seemingly dropped off the face of the earth. It is because a girl was going through it. I was in the trenches, and I still may or may not be in the trenches. At this point, anything could happen. Okay, so we're going to start out in August of this year. This is where things started to really kick off. This is where things really started to go downhill. And let's unpack it. So in August, I went through a breakup. So obviously, that is not good. That's one of the most classic sucky events to exist, is going through a breakup. That's just not fun. Nobody enjoys it. It wasn't a good time. So that in itself, we're already off to a bad start. It's almost like that's what this whole episode is going to be about. But to make matters a little more complicated, this person that I broke up with, I was living with him. So listen, I am not someone who believes in stigmas or stereotypes or listening to made up constructs that society has made. I literally do not give a shit how long you've been dating someone, who they are, whatever. If you want to move in with them, if you want to tell them that you love them, if you want to do anything with them, just fucking do it. Love does not have a time frame. And I hate it when people try to put a time frame on love. Because if you really think about it, that makes absolutely no sense. Anyways, I just wanted to say that because I know there might be a lot of people in the comments being like, well, that was your first mistake, was moving in with a boyfriend, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, no, because I don't regret it. I don't regret anything. No matter how absolutely explosive it gets, I don't regret things, okay? Because I make my decisions knowing what all of the consequences may be. Ow, I hit my elbow. So, yeah, I was living with him. But listen, this was not a nasty breakup. It was sad and upsetting, but we were adults and we understood the situation that we were living together. We couldn't just be absolutely horrible to each other. That was just not going to work. So we were trying to figure that out, and we were still really good friends. So it was like, okay, you know what? Let's just keep on living together. There's less than a year left, whatever. Now, the important factor in this equation would be the fact that I was living with 2 other boys. So it was just me in a house with 3 boys. And like I said, I don't like listening to stigmas and stereotypes. I like to give everybody the benefit of the doubt. But boys everywhere, I am so sorry, because this specific situation I was in, it really kind of backed up all the stigmas and stereotypes against you. So I don't want to generalize, but y'all really got to get your shit together. You guys really got to kick some other guys' asses back into shape, because there are some there's some boys out here that are really just ruining it for the rest of you guys. So come on, let's start putting in some work. Some things need to change. So anyways, yeah, bad house. That's what I wrote in my notes. Bad house. It was messy. It was bad. Bad house. I am someone who really likes my peace and quiet. I enjoy solitude. I need time to crawl into my shell and hide away from the world. If I don't have that outlet, I explode. I'm sorry. It's just what happens. If I could work on that quicker, I would. But it was a struggle coming home every day from my full-time job to a house that was full of messes that I did not make. Do you see how that is upsetting? And many would argue, well, just don't clean them up. If they're not your mess, these aren't your messes, don't clean them up. Just ignore them. Because yes, I would clean the house, whether or not they were my messes, because I am just like that. And eventually I did stop cleaning. But you want to know what the issue is here? Even if I am not benefiting other people by cleaning up their messes, I am also not benefiting myself, because now I'm living in a mess. So that was a whole thing. That was a lot of stress, because I'm already living with my ex, and now I'm also living in a house that it isn't looking good. Okay? So then I decided, I was like, you know what? Yeah, this ain't working out. You know what? I am going to leave. That's what I say. That's exactly what I said. And I started house hunting. Now, if you guys are familiar with my channel, my previous videos, if you guys have been keeping up, I move a lot. I move so much. Okay. Did we get that point across? Because sorry, I didn't mean to just smack you like that. But this house I'm living in right now, this is my 5th house that I've lived in since I turned 18. I'm 20. So let's do that math, because it's not adding up. So I didn't really want to move again, because I haven't stayed in a house for more than 6 months. And I feel like that is very damaging to my sense of stability. So I was, a little bit upset, but I was like, okay, whatever. I need to do this. Obviously, I need to move. So I started looking for places to move. Oh, another very important factor to throw into this equation, please keep this in mind throughout all these experiences that I am talking about. I am a full-time college student. I'm a full-time college student on top of having a full-time job, a creative hobby, and, having to take care of myself. So keep that in mind. And in August, that just so happened to be when school started, when the fall semester began. That was right when I went through a breakup and found out that I had to move. So things are already getting a little sick and twisted. So that leads us to September. September. So after my house hunting, obsessively house hunting at that, like I get tunnel vision when I have to do something like that, and it is the only thing I can think about for until I am able to find a solution. So that is a horrible process in itself. But I finally found a place, and it was literally what dreams are made of. This place, let me paint you a picture. It was a New York style loft in the top of an old industrial building, concrete flooring, exposed brick walls, like extremely high ceilings. Them bitches were tall, okay? It was beautiful. And even better, it was downtown. So I felt like a city gal. I was going to live the true city girl life. And it was built on top of an indoor skate park and a tattoo shop. So of course I applied. Literally the second I found it, I applied and I paid the security deposit. This deposit was a hefty deposit. This was not a cute little $100 deposit. No, sir. So I paid the deposit and I'm waiting for my application to be processed. That's where things really started to fall apart. Absolutely. I went from being extremely exciting. What? You know, if I'm going to have a podcast, I should probably make sure that I can speak. That's important. I'm sorry, I'm not used to having this right here. But I went from being extremely excited about finding the perfect place for me to just being absolutely ran over, picked up, and then thrown off a cliff. Traumatic. So what happened? Property management is already horrible. Listen, if you're planning on moving out or looking for a place, I would highly recommend, if you're going to be renting, to try to rent from an individual person, like someone who owns the property and is just renting it out on the side. Because the second you start going through a property management or like a company of some kind, everything just goes to shit. I don't know what it is. As soon as you add more than one person into a situation that revolves around property management, all of a sudden, communication, who is she? We don't know her. Extremely frustrating. So, I think when I applied, it was August, and they told me, okay, we think we can get you in by like September 1st. And I was like, absolutely fantastic. I'll start packing my things. Great. Now, fast forward to almost the end of September. I still hadn't moved into the new place. I am not going to get into the details of that because it is so intricate and just doesn't even seem real at this point. It was absolutely ridiculous. All of the different complications that kept popping up. Because I submitted my application. The guy told me, he said, okay, I've reviewed it. It looks great. Like you're going to get accepted, but it has to go, through some other people first. The communication was just absolutely terrible. I would send over information and then they wouldn't see it. And then they would wait like a week to get back to me and be like, oh, we still need you to send this over. And I would be like, yes, I sent it over the day you asked for it. So I don't know what was happening there. Eventually, I got so frustrated. I just went into the office and I was like, give me my security deposit back because I don't know what you're running here, but it needs to be improved. So then I was back at square one. You can imagine that's a little bit upsetting because I finally felt as if I was going to be getting out of this situation I was in and into something that was just so perfect and, so exciting. And then boom, squashed, stomped on. It was, my guinea pigs just did something in the other room over there. I forget this isn't a YouTube video, so I can't edit out parts. So my reaction is usually to just stop and wait until whatever the disturbance was goes away and then restart and cut out that part. So I'm going to have to revise some of my behaviors. But yeah, so that was already pretty disheartening. I was already a little bit upset about that. And then I ended up going to California at the end of September. I went to the Ohana Festival and I saw Eddie Vedder in concert. Don't even talk to me about that. I cried. I saw him backstage before he even came on to perform. I started crying. Oh my, Eddie Vedder. Do I have to elaborate on that? Because I'm not going to. If you know, you know. If you don't, you don't. It's as simple as that. Okay, anyways, that trip was fantastic. I went with my best friend, Cameron. We had a lovely time. It was great. And the whole time I'm thinking, okay, I'm getting my groove back. Like, this is dope. And I'm thinking to myself, like, okay, this is gonna be the catalyst to put me into this new cycle. Like, I was thinking, okay, I'm gonna get back from this trip. I'm gonna find a new place. I'm gonna move and then start this new cycle of my life. That's what the thoughts were. But if that's what would have happened, then my list wouldn't be as long as it is. So, unfortunately, no. That is not how things played out. That brings us to October. Okay, so in October, I'm sure more horrible things happened that I just cannot remember, because obviously I don't want to focus on the horrible things that are happening to me. But now I'm regretting it because now I'm making this video, but it's okay. So in October, I was still house hunting and I ended up finding a house. And it is the house that I am living in right now. Here I am. I found it. I moved in. Great. Good. Let's also factor into the equation that moving is like scientifically proven to be one of the most stressful experiences that a person can go through. I think it's on the same level as a divorce. I've done that 5 times in the past 2 years. And I was also going through a breakup. So let's think about that too. I was also a full-time college student. Did you forget? Full-time college student, okay? Fall semester, it's in full swing right now. All right. So October, oh my gosh, things go so horribly wrong at this point. It's absolutely terrible. I find a new place. And I move into the new place. And I move in on October 30th. So my plan was, okay, I'm going to move in on the 30th, and then I'm going to celebrate Samhain, which is a pagan holiday, or Halloween. I'm going to celebrate on the 31st. Because Samhain is kind of symbolizes the new year, like a new start. So, yeah, I was looking forward to that. And I was like, wow, everything is really aligning. The timing is really just perfect here. You know, because I'm a very positive person. I'll give myself that. I'm very positive, and I've been through a lot. So I've learned how to, make bad situations not as bad, if that makes sense. So I'm looking on the bright side. But then, oh my God, so October 31st rolls around. It's Halloween. It's Halloween, everybody. I wake up and I get a text from my ex. I'm sure that's a song. Is that a song? That's besides the point. I get a text from my ex because we're still friends at this point. Like, it really wasn't a horrible mess of a breakup. And I get a text and he's like, oh, I haven't seen the cat since yesterday. Tuna, that is the cat that we had together living in that house because she just randomly showed up at the house and we said, all right, come on in. New roommate, dope. So, love that cat. Her name is Tuna. And he basically said, yeah, I have not seen Tuna since yesterday because they had people over the house. And she is a very antisocial... She's a very antisocial cat, much like me. So usually when people come over, she finds the absolute best hiding spots and she just comes out when she feels like she wants to. So I was assuming, okay, she probably just found a place to hide. Fast forward a couple hours later, he texts me again. He's like, I literally still cannot find her and she has not come out. And I'm like, okay, that is concerning. So I drive over to this house. Now, this is the house that I was living at before. And I go over there to help him find the cat. Because unfortunately, on Halloween, people do not nice things to cats. So you don't want your cat out just running around. To make matters worse, as if it couldn't get worse, we had taken her collar off because I had ordered her a new collar and a new tag because the old one was getting too small. So we took it off. Literally, like the week before this happened, we took it off. So we're looking for her. We're looking for the cat. We're looking in his bedroom. And I look at the window. And I notice the window is open, which is a normal occurrence. But then I look a little closer. There's a gaping hole in the window screen. She chewed through the window screen and threw herself off of the second story of this house. My cat chewed a hole through the window screen on the second floor and jumped out. So there's just this little tunnel, this little cat-sized tunnel in the window. And I turn and I say, did you not see this? So at this point we know the cat is outside. The cat has been outside. For how long? We don't know. So we start panicking. I start panicking. I am already so stressed, and now I'm stressed because I think my cat is missing on Halloween, who happens to not have her collar on, and she just threw herself out of the second floor of a house. Onto concrete, by the way. We don't have grass. It was concrete. And I know, cats, they do that shit. They're built different. But still, I was worried. That's not a good thing. That's not what you want to hear. 1 second, let me restart my camera. So yeah, I remember I just broke down crying because I was like, wow, great. So yeah, that's just another thing, you know? That's definitely something I did not predict. Luckily, this event has a good, happy ending because I found her. We were outside looking probably for an hour, and I found her because she is a little drug addict, and I got out the catnip, and I opened it up, and I had to walk around with the catnip, and that is what finally brought her out. So, luckily, I found her. Even more ironic, the collar and the tag that I ordered for her, it got there that day. So, yeah, at least, you know, we put on the new collar, whatever, good, she's safe. But that was, oh my gosh, it took 5 years off my life, swear to God. How stressful is that? Anyways, now we move into November. I don't even want to look at the word November. I was in the trenches. I hit rock bottom and then found out rock bottom has a basement. Okay, but you know what? We're going to get into it. So November. I think it was like probably November 1st. I don't know. Beginning of November. I moved in on the weekend. So I think November 1st must have been like Monday. I go to work, come home from work. Great. But then I notice there are construction workers. And then I remember, so this house I live in, it's split into 4 units. So there's 2 upstairs, 2 downstairs. And whilst moving in, I noticed that the 2 downstairs units were not finished. So in my mind, I'm trying to think happy thoughts of like, okay, well, maybe they just aren't planning on finishing them. Maybe they're just renting out the top 2 units. Because who in their right mind would rent out a unit that has a literal construction zone underneath it? Well, apparently my property management company, because that is exactly what happened. So that night, I am trying to zen out. I'm trying to be peaceful, trying to recollect myself, evaluate all the things I've been through so far. And there's construction going on. You would think. I don't, but you would, right? Hopefully. Keep you out of situations like this. But you would think that construction workers would come from like 9 to 5. Because if there is someone living on the construction zone, you would assume, okay, they probably work from like 9 to 5. That's when we'll come and do work on the unit. No. I don't know if they just hired nocturnal construction workers or something, because these guys didn't even show up. I'm inhaling. I'm inhaling like new microphone particles, and I don't think it's doing good things to me. So, yeah, these guys wouldn't show up until about 5 p.m. And they would stay until like 11 p.m. at night. Is that even legal? I don't even think that's legal. But alas, here's the main issue. The fact that they would come so late, so they wouldn't even get to my house until 5, the property management office was closed at that point. So it's not like I could even call and complain and be like, hey, get these people out of my basement, because the unit they're doing work on, the ceiling of that unit is literally my floor. So I think I have some videos I might insert to show you guys what I was dealing with. Who does construction on a house that someone lives in past 5 p.m. I'm gonna have a full mental breakdown. Who did I make so mad? Maybe there is a God and he is taking it out on me. I'm sorry. I just want to relax. For once in my life, I just want to feel peace. Peace. And now it's like not even just me failing. It's my surroundings are failing me too now. And I can't do anything about that. As much as I can't even like put AirPods in, like earphones, because I have an ear infection. And that isn't good for the ear infection. But you know what? Construction for 20 fucking hours probably isn't good either. And also, my mattress was on the floor at this point. So, my mattress is on the floor. And they're doing work on the ceiling. You can see how that is not good, not ideal, not a good situation to be in. And I am already just so stressed out. I have been through so many events that should not have happened so close together. Keep in mind, I also was just struggling mentally in general. I was having a very hard time with depression and anxiety and stuff like that. And it was getting really bad already. So having all of these external factors come into play, shit was really stacked up against me. And that was upsetting. Okay. So yeah, construction. The first night it was happening, I was like, okay, whatever. They probably don't know I live here. They probably already had scheduled to work right now. I'll let it slide. Next day, they do the same thing. So I did email the property management company and I was like, hey, I totally get you guys have work that you need to do, but could you please do it before 5 p.m. and leave by like 6 p.m., please? Thank you. And they reply and they say, oh, great. Yes, of course, we'll do that for you. We will definitely do that for you. And I was like, okay, good, resolved. Love that. Love the communication here. And then let's insert this right here. The hot water was broken. How did I find this out? Well, I decided, okay, you know what? I've earned this. I've been having a very stressful time. I'm going to take a nice hot shower. And okay, here's another factor that's going to come into play. This is going to be important later, so really keep this in mind. I was getting a little bit sick. Now, I do not get sick. My immune system is absolutely built different, and I do not get sick. So I think what it was is I was so stressed out. Oh my gosh, I totally forgot. I a very crucial piece of information here. Back while I was trying to move, I was still trying to move at this point. I got to the point where I was so stressed out on a day-to-day basis that the blood vessels in my eyes started to explode. Literally, the blood vessels in my eyes were exploding, and I was having a constant headache because I was so stressed out. My body was literally giving up. Anyways, can't believe how I just forgot about that one, as if that isn't horrible. So yes, my body is giving up, and I was getting a little bit sick. It might have been allergies, but I was just a little congested, nothing too horrible. It just kind of felt like a little bit of a cold, but it wasn't fun. It definitely wasn't fun. So I was like, okay, let me take a hot, steamy shower and, clear out my sinuses, relax, unwind. The hot water didn't work. The hot water did not work. So I get in the shower and I turn it on. Icy cold water. I start crying. That was the moment I think I finally mentally snapped. Was the cold shower. And I'm sick. I have been listening to construction noises right under my feet. This is the 5th time I've moved in 2 years. I just went through a breakup. I'm a full-time college student. I'm working full-time. Oh my God, I was in the trenches. Blood vessels in my eyes were exploding. They couldn't even handle the pressure I was under. Oh my God, okay. Is my mic wobbling? If it's wobbling, I'm so sorry. I don't know what I'm doing right now. Okay. So here's where things get really spicy and not the good kind. I think it was the 3rd night of construction work going on. At this point, I'm sending angry emails. I never want to be that person who gets overly frustrated with someone who is just trying to do their job, but I was mentally deteriorating at a very fast rate. So I was sending angry emails. Nothing was getting resolved. The hot water, they came out like 3 times to fix it, and it still wasn't fixed. Oh my God. And then, this is truly, absolutely messed up. This is sick and twisted. I'm even like upset about it now looking back. The 3rd day of construction rolls around. Keep in mind, I'm still trying to unpack my house too. Like I'm living in an unpacked house. 3rd day of construction comes around. It's about 4 p.m. I just got home from work. I'm chilling, trying to find my zen. Oh my God, trying desperately. All of a sudden, all the pressure in my nose clears up. My stuffy nose goes away. I can breathe again. My sore throat completely gone. And I was like, oh my God, I'm getting better. And then, no less than 15 minutes later, pressure in my right ear begins to build. And at first I was just like, oh, that's weird. Pressure building in my ear. Okay. It wasn't bad at first. It was just uncomfortable. So I carry on with my day. Construction is going on beneath my feet during all of this. So I'm laying on my mattress on the floor, laying on top of the active construction zone. And I am just trying to relax. And then the pain kicks in. The absolute crippling pain that what I didn't know at the time was my eardrum rupturing. So I'm laying in bed, construction zone beneath my feet, eardrum screaming at me, hot water is broken. So, because the number one thing you do when you feel sick, oh, let me take a hot bath. Couldn't do that. To make matters worse, my camera battery is dying. So 1 second, let me change that. Sorry if the angle is different, unless you're listening to this and then you don't even know that the angle changed. Okay. My eardrum is exploding. That's where we left off. Great. Fantastic. And you know the thing that you really don't think about is when you move out and you're living on your own, who's going to take you to the hospital when your ear is exploding? Nobody. You have to do it yourself. So that was upsetting. I'm laying in bed, it just bawling, borderline screaming, because not only was I mentally suffering, but now I am physically suffering as well. So I am laying there in crippling pain thinking, how am I going to drive myself to the hospital like this? And I couldn't call an ambulance for an earache. No, because I live in America where an ambulance ride is like $5,000. It's not going to happen. No, thank you. Finally, I would say after like an hour of the crippling pain, I took pain medication and everything. It wasn't going away. I had an ice pack like shoved into my ear. I'm Googling home remedies for an exploding eardrum. Oh, take a hot shower. So I get up and I drive myself to the hospital. I sit there and I wait for like an hour in the waiting room with a bunch of sick people who are coughing. And I'm sitting there thinking, okay, great. So now I'm also going to get infected with whatever these people have. Fantastic. Anyways, go in. The doctor tells me, okay, you just have an ear infection. You don't have anything contagious. Here's some antibiotics. We're going to get you all fixed up. And then I say, well, doctor, listen. Because here's another factor we need to squeeze in here, as if we haven't done that enough. I say, doctor, I'm going on a plane this week. Oddly enough, the last time I had an ear infection, I was also going on a plane. And those flashbacks were playing in my head. Absolutely traumatic. So I'm a little bit stressed out now of, okay, that doesn't sound good. She told me, listen, you're probably going to be fine. It should be better by then, or at least it shouldn't be painful by then. And I said, okay, great. Luckily it was. So don't worry, but still, that's just like more fear building up on me. Because yes, I had another concert to go to. We're going to get into that. This concert, I had bought the tickets for it months ago, like at the very beginning of the year. So we'll unpack that. Don't worry. Actually, I think that's what's next up. Okay, I think that's what's next up. Yes. So that weekend, I leave to go to San Francisco for an Ashnikko concert. And again, I go with my friend Cameron. And I am even deeper in the trenches than I was before. And so at this point, I'm trying to be positive and think, okay, this trip is going to be that nice, refreshing break that I need. It's going to be the nice, peace and quiet that I need. And, it started out strong. We flew. We took a plane ride together. That was very fun. We got to our hotel. It was in Chinatown. Very cute. It was an Airbnb. Very, very cute. We walk into the office. We're checking in. I look to my right. What do I see? Well, I'll tell you. I see a sign that says, "We apologize for the construction." There's active construction going on at this hotel. You can't make this shit up. What the okay. So at this point, I'm just, okay. Okay, rolling with the punches. I'm really trying here, okay? I'm really, really trying. So also keep in mind, I'm a little bit stressed out because I did just move into a new house and now I am spending money that I should not be spending, but I wanted to have fun in San Francisco, so I'm spending money reluctantly. Not to say I wasn't having a fun time, but I was also kind of like, oh, this timing is not great. But the trip, it was good. It definitely wasn't super eventful, but I've never been to San Francisco before, so it was fun. And it was fun to hang out with my friend Cameron, so that was a good time. And I was feeling better physically. I didn't feel sick. But then, the night before the concert, Cameron and I are discussing, okay, what are we going to wear? Oh, show me your outfit. I'll show you mine. We, had bought outfits specifically for this concert and everything. And I'm scrolling through my Instagram. I'm excited. I've been waiting all year to see Ashnikko live. I was probably going to cry seeing her too, not going to lie. And then I see a post from the Ashnikko herself on Instagram. And I'm like, ooh, the queen has spoken. Let's see what she has to say. The show was canceled. Listen, you see what I mean when I say that Marlene King and the writers from Riverdale, were really putting their heads together to create this plot line. Because, bestie, I was straight up not having a good time. So the concert gets canceled. And I remember at that point, I was so emotionally drained, I couldn't even feel emotions about it. I just remember laughing because I was like, wow, that would happen. Now listen, this wouldn't be so upsetting if we had planned other things for this trip, but we didn't. The concert was the main event because we were trying to save money, so we didn't want to do a ton of stuff. So basically, we spent all this money to go on this trip for no reason. I'm not saying that it wasn't fun. Oh my gosh, this camera battery is going to die too. The bad karma is coming back. 1 second. Okay, maybe I'm still in my flop era because I think that last entire shot was completely zoomed out. So sorry. But yeah, the concert was canceled. And I was just so emotionally drained at this point that I was like, yeah, okay, great. I'm trying to come up with like positive things of like, okay, maybe if this concert would have happened, we would have gotten sick or stomped on or something. I don't know. So I was trying to, keep a positive mindset about it. So we decided to fly back early because that meant that, we could do things that needed to be done. Cameron could work and I could hopefully unpack my house. So that brings me into the next section of this. Let's get into this. It really just doesn't stop, does it? It really just doesn't stop. So I get home and my full-time job, I'm a nanny. So the family happened to be out of town. So I was house sitting for them. I've house sat for this family a couple times before. And it was great. They have a cute dog. I was doing all that. Listen, but on the very last night of house sitting, all hell broke loose because someone broke in, okay? And I'm not gonna get too far into that because it's still kind of a recent event for me. And it was probably one of the more seriously traumatic experiences for me, I must say. So it was horrible. I've never had to call 911 before, and I did have to do that. And I've never understood how, I've always seen recordings of 911 phone calls and been frustrated for the victim, on the other end. But wow, it's a whole different experience when you are in it because I was so frustrated. The fear started going away and being overrode by frustration. I was on the phone with the dispatcher for over an hour before the police even got to the house. So that's like an hour of being in fight or flight response. I have never been so scared in my life. And as I'm sitting there shaking, my whole body is shaking, I'm just thinking, oh, how many years of my life am I losing right now? I could feel the tissue in my brain dying from stress. On top of everything I've already been through, which is just day-to-day psychological stress, this is legitimate traumatic stress. That would have been extremely traumatic for anyone, no matter what they were experiencing. I had already been through it. I had already been through the trenches. So that was horrible. I was fine. Everyone was fine. The dog was fine. I was fine. All is good and well. The only unfortunate thing is that now I live alone. So that was very horrible. And, ironic timing for me to experience a situation like that because now I live alone. Luckily, I did get some new locks and stuff to put on the doors, and I have a whole security system, so we should be good. I have cameras and everything, but wow, yeah. And then to kind of close everything off here, we have I have no internet written down here. Keep in mind, again, I just want to keep reminding you, I'm a full-time college student going through all of this. So during this whole experience, I'm sending my professors messages because I kept missing assignments and, not being the most diligent student. So the messages I was sending probably sounded so fake. So fake. And I knew that at the time, but it was like, bestie, I'm straight up not lying to you right now. Take it up with Marlene. Because I don't know what plot she is writing either. So thank you. So then the last thing is I get home and I realize, oh my God, I still haven't set up my internet because I was just doing school while I was at work on my break. Gross, right? And so then I finally realize, okay, I should probably get my internet set up. And I start looking around. And I realize, the little outlet that you plug the modem and the router into? I couldn't find it. And I'm thinking, when they divided the house into 4 separate units, did they accommodate for the Wi-Fi situation? Long story short, no, they did not. So I'm emailing the landlord and I'm like, hey, how many fucking times am I going to have to reach out to you with an issue? Anyways, and she was like, oh my gosh, oh no. We'll send an electrician out ASAP to get that fixed for you. I was like, thank you. And she tells me that the electrician is going to come to my house and I was going to be at work. So I reply and I say, I will not be home. Let's figure out a different time because I would like to be home when there's a strange person entering my property. She never replies. The property management never replies. And then I think it was that was on Friday. So then there was a weekend. And Monday is the day that the guy was supposed to come. So I go to work and I get home from work. I open my door and I notice that there are boxes and bins that are misplaced. They're moved. Then I notice there's insulation all over my house. Because yes, the electrician did come into my home when I was not here. How did he do that? I don't know. But yeah, he did come. And while he was drilling into the wall to hook the things up, the main vent that sucks air in to distribute throughout the house, it was right below where he was drilling. So as he was drilling, everything that was coming out of the hole that he was drilling, it was getting sucked up into the vent and redistributed throughout my entire house. So there was insulation and drywall all over my house. Thank you. Now, I wouldn't be as upset with that if it weren't for this next piece of information here. The internet still didn't work because Mr. Bestie, the electrician, this girl boss, if you will, he left the wires just hanging out of the back of the house. So he wired up the internet, got to the very end and said, I'm just going to leave these hanging. Quite literally. He left them hanging. I don't know anything about internet or electrician work, but there was just wires hanging out of the back of the house. And so I was like, that doesn't look right. So I go inside and I'm trying to set up my internet after having to vacuum up the excessive amount of drywall and insulation in every single room of my house. And I'm trying to set up the internet. It's still not working. Great, good, love that. We're approaching finals week. My internet, it's not even close to being set up. And I cannot complete finals on my break at work. That's something I actually need time to do. So I am trying to contact Xfinity. That's a whole thing. I ended up yelling at a robot. So that's how you know that I just really was not mentally there, because I lost my temper with a robot. Because if any of you guys have tried to call Xfinity customer service before, it's absolutely horrendous. They always give you the stupid robot, and then, the robot, I swear to God, they made her passive aggressive on purpose. They made her, Miss Girl, oh my God, her attitude was not flying with me. Because I'm sitting there and I'm trying to explain my situation of, hey, there are literal wires just hanging out of the back of my house. I need someone to come finish this and hook it up for me. This Miss Robot lady keeps saying, did you try powering on and off your router? And I'd be like, yes. And then she would be like, we need to complete that step before we can move forward. And I was like, bitch, there's not even any Wi-Fi here for me to hook up to. The wires are literally hanging out of the back of the house. And then she would just say, have you tried turning off and on the router? So yes, I lost my temper. You would too. You would too. Don't even try to pretend if you were in that situation, you would not lose your temper, because I did. And then I hung up and I said, okay, that was a little silly of me. Eventually, I got a hold of an Xfinity person, got my appointment scheduled. The issue was it was Tuesday. The appointment wasn't until Saturday, so that was a little bit upsetting. But oh well. I was happy at least a real person was coming to help me. But then, the electrician storyline, it doesn't end there. I get a text from my property management that this electrician snitched on me. Not only did he enter my property illegally, leave a huge ass mess, not even complete the job that he came here to do, he had the audacity to also snitch on me to my property management company. Because I have guinea pigs, for those of you who don't know. I have guinea pigs. And I didn't feel the need to tell the property management about them, because none of my previous landlords have had an issue, because they're enclosed. They are in a cage. They are tiny. And it's not like there's any carpet or anything in this house for them to ruin or for smells to get stuck in. So I was like, it's not a big deal. And they text me and they say, the electrician that was at your unit informed us you have animal cages on the property. Can you explain? And I was like, animal cages? The man made it sound like I was illegally harboring tigers in my house or something. So I explained the situation. I'm like, they're guinea pigs. Hello? And I was like, what do you want me to do? They're guinea pigs? They never answered me. So I'm assuming they felt a little bit silly. As of now, everything was fine. They never told me anything, never followed up. Every day, I kind of expect to come home and just see an eviction notice on the door. But then again, they did enter my property illegally, so that evidence is not permissible in court, and I will fight them on it. Imagine me in the stands, just like this. I'm like, Your Honor, those are my besties. Those are my guinea pigs. What do you want me to do? Evict them? No. Okay, so that brings us to the end of this era. I would say towards the end of November and into December, where we are now, I've definitely been doing a lot better. I am on the way up, because what I want us all to remember is when you feel like you are literally at rock bottom, the only way you can go is up, unless you're like me and you find out that rock bottom has a basement specifically tailored for you, like your own personal purgatory. But you know what? I made it through all of that, and here I am. Here I am. still recovering a little bit. There are definitely still some things that I need to unpack with all of those experiences that happened. But you know what? At least I can say that I made it through. I made it through, and you know what? Maybe it did cause some character development. And I did pass all my classes. So good. I was able to take all my finals and catch up, and we passed. So now I get a little bit of a break from school until spring semester starts, and I get to do it all over again. Great. Yeah, I just wanted to share those stories because I feel like it could inspire those of you who are also in a similar situation of feeling like everything you do is just a ticking time bomb. And every experience you have is just like a jack in the box. And you're just waiting for an inconvenience to pop out of the top. Now, what I learned throughout this whole thing is a lot of these problems probably could have been avoided if I would have stopped expecting them. Because I'm someone who believes in like manifestation and, you know, your thoughts are your reality, blah, 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 blah. And so once I got into the place, I'll be like, though the situation I was in, you cannot blame me. You cannot blame me for kind of abandoning my positive thinking that I usually do. And if you are in a similar situation, I do not blame you if you can't do that. But yeah, it is definitely, I feel like it was going into this. I've also learned that it is important for me to have a sturdy, solid foundation mentally and physically so that when things like this do happen, they aren't as detrimental as this whole situation was. Yeah, but was that kind of a wild way to start this podcast? What a wild first episode. It'll be even more wild because I don't know how this microphone works. So I'm sure it's been a rocky road to listen to it, unless I decided to just use my camera microphone. But that would be sad because I had this whole setup planned. For what? If it doesn't work, for what? Okay, but it's been very long. If you have listened to the end, oh my gosh, thank you. You're fantastic. I hope you have a great day, and I hope you are not in your flop era or exiting your flop era, because I think that's something that we all deserve. I hope that 2020, No, we're not going back to 2020. No. 2022. I hope that 2022 has some better things in store. I hope that I move into a different era. What it is, I do not know yet. We will see. And you guys will see as well. Yeah, so I felt like this is my way of releasing all of that negative energy and releasing all of those experiences and the bad vibes that they held, and leaving them behind so that when I move into this new year, I can truly have a fresh start and all of these experiences won't just be festering in my head, because now they will also be living in your head as well. So I'm glad we were able to take that trip together. I hope that explains why I was a little bit MIA on my social media, specifically YouTube, because, oh my God, I was really going through it. And I just could not find the energy to sit down and film because I never want to I never want to be contagious with my bad vibes, you know? Like, I want my channel to be a place that you guys come to feel safe and supported. And of course, I was talking about negative stuff, but I think there's a big difference in talking about negative stuff and being negative. I think it's very important to be able to talk about negative stuff without having it be inherently negative. And that's what healing does. Healing, it allows you to, process situations and move past them without suppressing the emotion, because that's not good either. So I'm very glad that I got to, I'm not glad I got to experience these things. No. I'm grateful for the lessons that they taught me, but I'm not grateful for the experience. No. But I am grateful that I was able to sit down and chat with you guys and update you because I'm sure you wanted to know all of that. Hopefully, it made you feel a little bit better about yourself or motivate you because if I can get through all of that, you can get through what you're doing. Comment down below. If any of you guys think that you're in your flop era, or maybe you have a memory from your flop era, if you're watching on YouTube, comment down below. Comment down below any advice that you learned during your flop era. Let's help everybody. Let's get everybody out of their flop eras. Let's move. Let's do a global move out of the flop era. Going into 2022, we want no flops, no flopping, no. Okay, yeah. See what I mean when I say that I talk way too much? It's been over an hour of me just sitting and talking to a camera, an inanimate object. But I had fun. I had fun because I really truly feel like you guys are here with me and we are just having a chat. A nice little like coffee chat. So it's been fun. I hope you guys had fun. And I will probably see you guys in the next one. I don't know how frequently I'll be posting these podcast episodes. But I'll keep you guys updated if I decide on a certain day or something. And also follow me on Instagram. All my social media will be in the description because there is a great chance that I will be asking questions on my Instagram to answer on the podcast. So be sure you keep up with me on there just in case you want to ask questions and have me answer them because, wow, don't I look like I just give the best advice? Okay. Yeah, I need to end this. I don't have an outro. I don't have an outro for the podcast. Should I just do my normal outro? And that's all for this one. I can't even remember it. That's all for this one. Feel free to check out some other videos on my channel. Check out my links in the description, and I'll see you guys in the next podcast. Bye!